The snow runoff that we have been experiencing, what kind of pump will help us and be best for our home? Well, we talk with Bob Hedlund to find out.
The three types of sump pumps that we typically see and install are the main sump pump, like you'd have in a typical installation like this. If people are concerned about their belongings, the finished basement, then you'd get into the backup pumps, what we call secondary or backup. This particular pump would run on both AC electricity, but it also has a dual battery. So if the electricity goes out or there's a power outage or anything like that, it will continue to run on batteries. And so we have the battery backup. Then we'd have a typical water powered. And a pump like this actually gets tied in with your home water service. So in the event of a power outage, this would actually kick on and off and therefore open and close the water valve. So basically what this does, it runs on the city water supply, it flows through, and it's going to pump both the water and your groundwater out at the same time. Therefore, you don't have to worry about any batteries, you don't have to worry about anything as far as electricity or batteries. We recommend this only if you're on a city water system. So if you're on a well, we still recommend the battery backup.
So those are the different types. Now, how do we decide which type is going to be best for our personal home?
The biggest one, the reason there is how big is the basement, how wet are the wettest conditions. And one of the questions we talk about is, and how often do you hear the pump running in, say, May or March or April or the wettest conditions of the year? If your pump runs a lot, or you have two sump crocks, or you have a lot of water, we would not recommend this because it just wouldn't have enough pumping capacity. Then we would recommend the battery backup.
Now, I know most homes in Michigan have basements, but my grandmother grew up, just in a rambler with no basement. What do you do in that situation if you still kind of have wetland, but you don't have a basement?
If you don't have a basement, more than likely you probably don't have a sump crock, because then the house would either be on a slab or it'd be on a crawl space. And it'd be something that you want to look at your own individual house. If you get into a situation where your crawl space, say, is real wet and you don't have a sump pump, then I would recommend talking to a restoration company or a ground waterproofing company that they come in and possibly put in a water removal system.
Okay, are there any other features that we should know when we're choosing a pump that we should be wary of?
When we're looking for that, it's usually better to go up to, I recommend people go to the little bit better pump. You can go and buy the absolute, $80 sump pump, but you think about, is the price difference of $100 or $200 difference really worth the value of all the belongings in a basement? So if you think about it, the value of what it's actually protecting, it's well worth it to go with a higher quality pump.
Spend a little more money and then protect our assets at home.
Absolutely. Peace of mind is everything.
Well, Bob Hedlund, we always learn so much every time that you invite us in to talk us through the equipment here. Thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome.